Hey, what's going on, everyone? Lauren Sisler here with AL.com. And hey, we're cruising right into week 10 of the SEC college football season. Hard to believe that we're not heading into the SEC championship. We just finished up the Iron Bowl, but guess what? Auburn's got another game, and they're facing off against number 5, Texas A&M, coming off a 42-13 loss to Alabama. So what's that going to look like? I don't know. We're going to check in with Cubelic on head-to-head.
Let's go now.
What is up, Cole? We appreciate you joining us as always. You know, a rather uneventful showing by the Tigers on the road at Bryant-Denny Stadium. And now they face number 5, Texas A&M, who is still in the hunt for a playoff berth. Just wanted to get your overall takeaways from this matchup, what we saw from Auburn, and what needs to change if they want to try to get the dub against the Aggies.
Overall takeaways, I thought you had a few individuals that put forth great effort. You could tell that it meant something to him. I thought Anthony Schwartz went out there and played like his hair was on fire. I thought Broderius Ham's a guy you give a lot of credit to. Wasn't 100%. He went out there, toughed it out, went the majority of the game. Couldn't really finish, but he's a guy that gave good effort. Tank Bigsby, you could see him get out on the edge a few times, and he wasn't the same. It was pretty apparent he wasn't 100%. And there's a guy or two on defense that were the exact opposite of that. And you had some fill-ins on that offensive line, some guys that hadn't played a lot of football, probably not ready for that spot. And it showed a little bit.
So aside from injuries, right now on the offensive side of football for Auburn, what is the biggest glaring issue that they've got to fix against Texas A&M?
I think consistency running the football, because this is an offense that's still predicated around that. They're going to be more play action. They're going to be more RPO. Obviously, you want to move the pocket a little bit because Bo Nix has shown at times that he's not necessarily comfortable staying there. And when Auburn has been good, been better this year, they've designed some things with his legs, either moving the pocket or design quarterback runs to go along with the running game. Now, what comes with that is the offensive line's got to play better, and you don't have most of your best offensive linemen or some of your best offensive linemen, and that's going to make that extremely difficult. On top of that, Tank Bigsby just flat out makes the offense different. When he's not available or he's not 100%, they don't run like they have at certain points this season when you felt like they were clicking on all cylinders. So I think more Anthony Schwartz, more shots to Seth Williams. You got to get Seth Williams going early, in my opinion, because I think he's somebody mentally and emotionally you need going. You need him excited, and you need the threat of what he can do to a defense early in that game. But you look at both sides of the ball at the line of scrimmage, and it's hard not to imagine that it's a big advantage for Texas A&M.
All right, so we're going to flip the script here, the defensive side of football. Here's a couple things I'm looking at. They face a Texas A&M offense with one of the nation's top running backs in Isaiah Spiller, okay? This season, he's averaging 112 yards per game on the ground for the Aggies. Then you got Kellen Mond, who obviously has been shown to be a dynamic quarterback, obviously a mobile threat. Here's the thing, though. Last week against LSU, they limited him to 105 passing yards, so kind of an interesting matchup there. And there's also been some talk that potentially KJ Britt, we don't know if he's going to be ready to come back for this game. But how does this A&M offense behind Kellen Mond match up against an Auburn defense with or without KJ Britt?
I think it's actually advantage Auburn on the perimeter. You don't have the elite weapons on the outside that A&M's used to. They had a few opt-outs before the season, and they had some injuries in the season, and that's really hurt them there. They do have Jalen Weidermeyer at tight end, a guy who, if he gets in one-on-ones, is athletic enough to be able to win those. The disadvantages come along the front seven. I think Texas A&M has one of the best offensive lines in this league. You mentioned Spiller. He has a great feel for the zone scheme that A&M sort of lives and dies on this year. Inside zone, outside zone are their bread and butter. That's what the offense is going to be built around. They'll throw some misdirection in off that. They'll move the pocket off that, but that's what makes them go. And the offensive line is a big part of why it's working. I think Kenyon Green, left guard, you could argue he's been the best offensive lineman start to finish in the SEC this season. They're physical. They get after you. They have a good understanding of what the scheme is supposed to look like. And they have two good backs that get behind them and are able to make it go. I think that takes some off the plate of Kellen Mond. I think in years past, he's really pressed, tried to do a little bit too much. And you don't see that as often. this season with Kellen Mond. So, and you can design runs for him, and he can utilize him in the run game with an extra blocker as well. So the mismatch for Auburn is going to be up front. If there's an advantage for Auburn, it's going to be out on the perimeter where Texas A&M is just not as strong as they have been in the past.
I like it. All right, we'll get to the predictions. You know, for me, I think Auburn shows some bounce back against Texas A&M. Obviously, a dismal performance against Alabama and one of, I guess, the second worst showings in the Gus Malzahn era. But certainly an opportunity to bounce back, to, you know, sort of prove themselves back at home in the comfort of their own home. So a spark there. I think they get a few explosive plays. I think if the defense can also generate some explosiveness as well, maybe pick up a couple points, put a few points on the board, that could definitely change or shift the momentum. But I do think you have the number 5 team in the country that is playing for so much in a college football playoff berth is what they're still eyeing. Can Jimbo Fisher get it done? We'll see. I'm looking at Auburn not quite being there and able to contend to get the W. I'm going 27-20 in favor of Texas A&M.
Well, first time you've picked against Auburn this year, if I'm not mistaken.
It is. Well, really actually, no. For the record, I did pick Alabama to win the Iron Bowl as well. But thank you.
Second time. All right, so what was my prediction last week? 48-14, and it was 42-13. Oh, okay.
Yeah. You kind of gave me a bit when I said that Auburn would hang 30 on Alabama. You definitely looked at me sideways with that one.
We could go into matchups all day long. We can go X's and O's. We can go scheme. I don't think this game has anything to do with that. I think this is just one of those games where Gus Malzahn's painted into a corner. He's backed up against a wall and fighting for his life. Guys are writing articles now about he should lose his job. The next guy, it's time to move on, get him out, do this, do that. Let's find the next head coach. And Bo Nix is a totally different quarterback at home. I mean, 2,551 yards at home in 10 games, 1,845 yards on the road in 10 games. 15 touchdowns to 1 interception at home, to 11 touchdowns and 12 interceptions on the road. He's 64% at home, 55% on the road. Bo Nix is just a different guy in Jordan-Hare Stadium. Gus Malzahn always seems to find a way to get a game like this when his job's on the line or people are calling for his job or the pressure's on or he's feeling the heat. I just think Auburn finds a way. And I can't even give you schematically the ways that this is going to happen because there aren't a ton of advantages for Auburn position group for position group, guy for guy, dude for dude. I just think 31-14, Auburn finds a way to get this done. Big plays to Anthony Schwartz, big plays to Seth Williams. Bo Nix protects the football. The run game finds a way to get going. Kellen Mond makes some mistakes. And all of a sudden, we're looking at Gus Malzahn thinking, where in the hell was that all season?
All right, Cole. I love the take. I know Auburn fans love it too. We'll see what happens, how things play out. 11 a.m. Central Time, ESPN, Auburn versus number 5, Texas A&M at home, Jordan-Hare Stadium. Where are you going to be this week, Cole?
Lexington, Kentucky, South Carolina, traveling to Kentucky. Forecast says 50% chance of snow. The low is 23. So, yeah, it's going to be an exciting game. I'm looking forward to it. That's at, I think that's at 6 p.m. on the SEC Network.
I'll give you one piece of advice. Bundle up, my friend.
It's guaranteed that I die legend. Yeah, son, God, homie, I'm reverend. Preach, just protecting my investment. Ask about me, integrity's not a question. Straight up.